All right, my friends, last time on the Shadows of Greyhawk, the party traveled into the rugged hill country surrounding the rough and tumble mining town of Diamond Lake with only their wits and their hastily transcribed map of the local mining claims to guide them. The party charted a course through the Cairn Hills, headed for an abandoned mining outpost near the fabled Whispering Cairn. After several hours of travel, the party came to an outpost, finding a dilapidated structure occupied by tenacious goblins with no intent of vacating peacefully. Instead, a battle erupted, with the property dispute ending in grievous wounds and a pile of gobbers, only one of them managing to escape the assault. Although there were a couple in the trees, too, that you never were able to track down. Nevertheless, the party investigated the outpost, finding new trinkets among the goblin remains, a chipped emerald, a red dragon scale, silver locket. And I think Torbin found a broken lantern. Staking their claim, Osric used his knife to carve "Our house now" in Goblin to ensure there would be no future miscommunication on the matter. And if I remember correctly, Osric, you also stuffed the goblin bodies into the ruins of the nearby latrine. Yep. And then you rested after a day of work. That may need to be addressed later. The next day, the party scrambled higher into the hills, searching for the Whispering Cairn. With a bit of luck, be it good or ill, they discovered an ancient portal hidden beneath a tangle of roots and vines. And upon a cool air, a faint, though incessant whisper to encourage their curiosity. And forward they pressed, like true adventurers, deep into the tomb, where they discovered looted alcoves, defaced carvings, and a strange shattered arcane apparatus surrounded by other shards of obsidian glass, and at the base of the structure, an undecipherable glyph carved into stone. After gathering a couple of the shards and sketching the glyph for future study, the party continued into a broad chamber, bearing the scent of animal spore and wet fur to the north and south corridors, disappearing into darkness. Directly ahead of them, a wide arch draped from top to bottom in thick, translucent webbing and emanating an eerie green light. Before you were able to investigate, the intrusion was interrupted by a pack of ravenous wolves that pounced forward from the darkness. Rona fell in the melee, but the party fought valiantly, vanquished the beasts before stabilizing their friend, gathering themselves and returning down the slope to the mining outpost. Satisfied with their progress and in need of additional healing, the party rose the next morning and returned to Diamond Lake, where they enlisted the help of Osric's mentor, Yersinia, who gladly healed Rona of her wounds. They then visited Lazaire's house to negotiate with a gray-haired visitor named Kellic, who had become a kind of patron to the group, sort of. They revealed to Kellic and his elven companion Tira that they discovered the Whispering Cairn and that an ancient tomb inside held great promise. In response, Kellic paid them some gold and vowed to reward them greatly should they return with artifacts, intact artifacts from the Whispering Cairn to validate its authenticity. So my friends, with all of that mouthful of a recap completed, I would like to do a little bit of a flashback to Diamond Lake before we commence with the meat and potatoes of what we have tonight. As you find yourself back in Diamond Lake, having recuperated and rejuvenated a little bit, healed your wounds, perhaps gotten some food and some much needed rest, kind of the in-between of adventures kind of thing, a little bit of downtime, you are approached at some point by a messenger who guides you to Kellic at Lazaire's house. Kellic is standing there, Tira in the shadows nearby on the porch again, as you have yet to have had a chance to enter into Lazaire's house, trying so diligently to sort of see around the Davin, the bouncer who has very effectively kept you from seeing what lies within Lazaire's house. Yeah, he's done a pretty good job of keeping you in the dark on that one. But on this particular evening, you find yourselves talking to Kellic. Kellic, wearing this high-collared red cape, fashioned with a skull clasp over the green jerkin and pants. He looks a little bit different in the way he's holding himself and in the way that he's dressed compared to when you had last spoken with him just a day or two prior, having kind of made a deal with him and provided him with some details. Tira, is also there, and he tells you that they intend to leave town. Thank you so much for the follow. They intend to leave town for a spell. They have perhaps, Kellic says, we've stumbled upon perhaps something lucrative that we intend to investigate. But in the meantime, I would appreciate that our arrangement is kept and that you continue your investigations. He just has this different air about him.
When will you be back? I mean, we have an arrangement.
It's hard to say in these matters, young Osric. Sometimes the path laid before us is short and sweet. Other times it is bitter and long. And he looks over at Tira and she just kind of like gives a knowing nod. It might be some time, or perhaps you will hear from us in a mere fortnight. Nevertheless, what you discover within the Whispering Cairn, hold close. We shall return, and upon sharing of information amongst us, you shall be paid handsomely for your efforts. Do what you can to uncover what's happening in the Whispering Cairn, and if there are riches to behold, then we shall all be richer for the matter.
All right, but if we have to hold these artifacts for longer than, 2 weeks, there's going to be some surcharges.
You are becoming a deft negotiator, Osric. I look forward to our next encounter.
Fancy language. Yeah.
Rona, I think you would recognize or notice that in his sort of changed posture, his traveling cloak on, Tira looks as though it almost looks as if they are getting ready to depart this very evening, as if it's an urgent matter. But you see that Kellic is kind of fingering a ring on his the third finger of his right hand. He's just sort of like kind of fiddling with it while he's talking, and then he sort of like lets his hand fall to the side as he completes the conversation. Tira kind of looks over and says, "Oh, Kel, at least give them a chance to not die." And he kind of gives a wink at you, Osric. And he turns around and he pulls forward a potion. He says, "This is a potion of healing. Use it only if needed. And after you do, I suggest you run. Not necessarily in that order, but that's up to you."
You'll see Goldie counting each one of us. So how many servings are in this then?
You'll have to prioritize.
Really? That's what you're going to give us?
That's what we have.
Where are you going?
That's for us to know. We will compare notes, shall we say, once we've returned to Diamond Lake.
All right. Well, I'm sure you are a man of your word, so we'll just I guess we'll count on that.
Rona, give me a intelligence check, please.
Okay. 5.
Okay.
Good.
You just catch a quick glimpse of the ring. It looks as though it is maybe has some gold embedded in it. It looks fancy, the ring that he wears. It piques your curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Have she seen jewelry of this quality around lately or anywhere? Is it like standing out like a sore thumb in the poor little community of Diamond Lake?
It stands out. It stands out in its in the fact that the way it catches what little light there is and glints for you.
Yeah.
But you've seen jewelry of fine craftsmanship on some of the owners of the local mines. So there is a consortium of mine owners here who have wealth.
She stares at it like kind of almost like she really makes a point staring at it for a few seconds and then look at the eyes of him and see if he reacts to that.
Yeah, with that sort of intent, sort of curiosity.
Like, what the heck are you there without asking him?
Yeah. With that intense curiosity, he takes note. I guess you're trying to almost be like obvious in your interest.
Exactly. I want to ask him without asking him. I want to see reaction.
He takes note of your interest and he moves his hand and puts it inside his cloak.
Okay.
But I will say this: you do catch with that sort of intense curiosity that it is a rather simple ring. It does have flecks of gold in it, and it bears on the face of it. It bears a symbol of an 8-pointed star. but it's not something that you are familiar with what it is. It's just very of interest to you. Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Yeah. With that, he looks to you all and says, I wish you the best of luck. I wish I had more of these potions to share, but we have need of the other 2 that we have. Perhaps some of your contacts might be able to help you with other supplies. Nevertheless, we must prepare for departure. Good luck, and we'll see you when we return to Diamond Lake.
Right, and we shall all be richer.
That's the idea.
Maybe we can have a meal here at the
Yeah,
house.
maybe they'll give us one of those.
That's unlikely, but keep dreaming.
Yeah.
Keep shooting high.
Extra steaks.
Steaks
With
for the
that,
road.
as you're kind of having this steak conversation, he just does like a flourish with his cape, this red cape, and Davin opens the door. They walk in, and Davin closes the door and just stands there like this and waiting for you to depart. Now, as
Kira.
she had snuck into, but she turns back and does a little toodaloo as she goes in there. Give me a charisma check, Osric.
Oh.
I feel like you're trying to gain favor, perhaps, with
Hey,
Tira.
If I can't buy my own meal in that place, maybe she'll take me in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 14 on the die.
Yeah, she does just sort of like look back and kind of give you a very direct look and a little sort of flick of the wrist and disappears inside.
She said hi.
Wait, do you think that meant?
I think she was also rather impressed on the night or 2 before when
She was.
Torbin laid down the bloody skins of that giant wolf.
Osric is the guy. Yeah.
It was a dire wolf, right? It was a dire wolf at least.
Yeah, it was a dire wolf.
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe fiendish dire wolf even.
Oh yeah. Every telling it became fiercer. Yeah.
And bigger, bigger and fiercer and
Yeah.
more dangerous. All right, so with that all said and done, one of the things that I really liked about the Shadowdark game was that there was something called carousing, and so we're gonna do a little bit of carousing. So my friends, you have each pitched in coin to the tune of a total of 30 gold pieces, and this will be your pool of carousing. Now, I'm going to obviously switch the music up to some tavern music because there are a series of taverns specifically at this level of expense where you will be able to have a raucous night of drinking along Tolliver Row, which includes the Come On In, which of course is the location where Goldie and Rona have. Well, Goldie has a paying job, and Rona is just kind of a hanger around her and getting some lodging in the barn out back. But you're familiar with this place. You're familiar with some of the other taverns along that stretch of Tolliver's Road. They are the classic dive bars that you might expect. And let's see, let me just bring this up here. It's classy as a stretch, but I know where I get your drift. She's proud of it in a sense. I mean, she's probably proud that she has what resembles a paying job, right? I mean, that's important. So I'm going to, as we prepare for the carousing, yeah, exactly. I want to bring up our VTT here so we can take another look at Diamond Lake. Thank you, Scottish Jeff. That was sexy. All right. So here's Diamond Lake. All right. So Tolliver's Row is down in this neck of the woods. It's dank. This is like kind of where the drunkards stumble from tavern to tavern, including the Come On In here at number 27. There's the smelting house here. So the air is thick with smoke, not unlike northern Minnesota right now with the fires burning in Canada. I think I got the black lung pops. Anyone? No. Okay. So, and nevertheless, you do
Zoolander.
a raucous. Thank you. You have a raucous night of partying with Diamond Lake's lowest of lowlifes and degenerates. Sounds like a blast. What I would like each of you to do now is we're going to adjudicate what the result of that is in terms of the carousing outcome for each of you, and there'll be a little opportunity maybe for you to add in a little bit of flavor. So let's start with Osric. Osric, give me a D8 roll.
D8.
Yep.
An 8.
Okay.
Good or bad?
Okay, this is interesting. So at some point, you impressed a minor official with an eloquent toast that was so well received that they now see you as a decent orator with some potential for political promise.
Hell yeah.
This will also gain you 400 XP.
Yes.
And a connection, a political connection, a minor political connection in town that we can sort of adjudicate who that might be.
Right.
Yep. And I don't know what the eloquent toast might have been. Do you have any flavor of what you might have been toasting?
Who was in the room that was of importance at the?
This would have been probably maybe a scribe that works for one of the. Well, let's just do this. Let me roll and see who they work for. A scribe that works for. The Moon Meadow family.
All right.
And their name, you ask? I knew you were going to ask what their name was.
Yeah.
And I would say that their name is probably Zorli. And Zorli Tur. Zorlityr is their name. Balding, quick movements. Seems like they're always late for something. I'm late for a very important date kind of thing. So Zorli is now your contact there. So what do you think your toast might have been? Just a little flavor. You don't have to do the full toast, but it might be kind of fun to.
Oh, it would have been a toast about, of course, the Gort party and our expedition into the Whispering Cairn, which is known about, but nobody knows where it is, and we found it, and that'll be sort of the exploits, of course, that I will inflate, of course, that we fought a fiendish direwolf and et cetera, et cetera.
Wow. Okay. So you actually worked in the discovery of. Okay, people are going to be very interested in that, including a dwarven bard who happens to overhear this proclamation. Someone by the name of Vamrid Craigthane. Vamrid, when you hear this toast, what is your reaction?
Well, since I was probably tuning on my doom tube, I would a little bit of a startled noise, and then I stop and I kind of lean in a little bit. So
and there we were
talking about the cairn. That's kind of interesting. Me and my fellows were trying to find that recently. The boys and I were sneaking around some caves, and we were looking for anything shiny and fine, and for some mystical stuff. But unfortunately, all we found was a platoon of gobos, nasty little bastards, smelled like shite, ruthless scum. We were kind of in a pinch, like we couldn't get anywhere without fighting them, so we had no choice but to administer some dwarven justice on them, beat them down, and take them out. And they captured this elf, some elf named Nindril or something. Apparently he's a bard too, but he tried to make up some stories how he's famous everywhere. But I'm like, dude, you got captured by goblins. You're not famous. Get to stepping. We didn't have time for that kind of crap, me and the fellas. But yeah, man, I'm real interested in this Cairn place. I wouldn't mind tagging along if you'll have a friend,
Well, I'll have to consult my cohorts, and I'll turn to the rest of Gort. What do we think?
What's his name?
Vamrid, I think. Vamrid,
yeah,
right? Yes.
Vamrid, yeah.
How are we gonna put a V in Gort?
Well, that thing he has can cheer up the dead, so it might be useful. Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong with a Gavort? Doesn't that sound right?
Gavort.
Yeah, we can Gavorting. That sounds awesome.
That's workable. It still sounds like a hill giant name. Sure.
I'll make a song about it at some point.
Yeah.
I promise.
You could rhyme cavort in there with her. I like it. I like it.
Okay, but listen, Mr. Vamred, if you take any kind of antagonistic step towards my buddy, and I'll point back to Osric, you're gonna hear it from me first. Watch your step.
And Vamred, that was an understatement. You will not hear it. You will just feel it before you hear it.
Excuse my bodyguard, Goldie.
Why-
She takes her job very seriously.
Why am I going to beat up the human? No, what? He looks. No, that's
Exactly. Exactly.
not. No, why would I do that?
Thank you, Goldie. No,
Anytime.
can never be too careful,
Not when cavorting is being talked about. Yes.
especially when there's gavoting happening.
Yeah.
Gavort. To Gavort.
There we go.
I don't see it's a good idea to beat up your friends when you're trying to accomplish. How's that going to work out?
That's a good start.
True.
Yep. Mhm.
True. You have experience killing goblins. That's good. We like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we could always use an extra hand. The more, the merrier. More,
I like that he used the word friends too.
Mhm.
indeed. I like more bodies between me and direwolves. That's what I like. So I'm all for it.
Right. Good stories then.
Look at those biceps too. I mean, come on. Let's get him in a fight.
I do like to fight.
I'm gonna have to bring up the image.
Didn't we see you down at the beach last week? You were playing your,
Oiled up.
your battle tuba by the bonfire.
Yeah, the Doom tuba. Yeah, it's something. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Doom tuba. You might see that on stream next week.
Excellent.
It was echoey across the lake. So, yeah.
Yes, you're in.
It does.
Everybody
so
heard it.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so the team has brought together a new member, and the team Gavort has been born. I look forward to seeing how you do the mental gymnastics with all the other players and characters that come into this game. It's going to be fun to see how that name expands. In the meantime, yeah, it's going to be interesting. In the meantime, let's jump over to Rona. Rona, you are also carousing. Let's get a D8 roll from you, please.
Uh-oh. Yeah. 1.
A 1, okay. On the other end of the spectrum. Well, Rona, I hate to break it to you, my friend, but you wake up in a ditch the next morning with no pants. Roll a D10, please.
Dear, now I am in trouble. 5.
Yeah. You are 5 gold short of what you had, so mark off 5 gold.
Yeah.
And you have a new tattoo. What is the tattoo? Yeah, what is it and where is it on your body?
We have dwarfs in the neighborhoods. Maybe she has an axe tattoo on her thigh. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask her
Zero
about
on
it.
her thigh.
5 gold pieces. That must be very gentle because they didn't take all of it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
That
well, you
is-
probably
yeah.
made some friends with the Dwarven tattoo artist,
okay, yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and paid 5 gold for a sweet. And you know what? It's a pretty good tattoo. Like, it looks really good,
Okay.
despite you not remembering any of it. And by the way, did I mention you don't have any pants on?
That's why I saw it on the thigh. So yeah.
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 You're like, ooh, it's tender over here. Oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. We'll say that if you
Another
backtrack
one.
your steps to the tattoo shack on
She has
Tolliver Row.
basic tracking skills, so she's going to do that. And if she sees someone on the way, whoever that is in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been able to track back to and meet up with Trogan. Trogan is the tattoo artist, and Trogan's like, you walked out of here with no pants. I mean, we knew you
How
were
the
drunk
heck
when you
did I-
came in.
Again.
Who walked me in here?
You came in pretty hot-headed about an axe tattoo, which I will say turned out muy nice.
It's Dwarven.
But here's your pants; they're over here.
Do
Throws- he
Ronan
throws
know
your-
this tattoo guy?
Trogan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a known guy around town.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I did this on. There was no one else to blame on this.
That's all you, hun. 5 gold worth of beautiful art that you'll now have for the rest of your life. Which, by the sounds of your friend Osric's pontificating last night, might not be too long, but, good luck.
Rona is starting to get 2 and 2 together here, so yeah.
All right, well, I got work to do. Be on your way. Good luck. Come back when you're ready for another tattoo.
She takes her pants, but she puts on her pants in the store before she gets out and stare at him. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting. They were nicely folded over on like someone folded them up, whether it was you or Trogan, it's unclear, but they hand them back to you. You throw them on and walk back out into the day.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And so we'll go next to Torbin. Torbin, let's get a D8 roll, please.
Here we go. 2.
Okay. Rona, also, did I mention you gained 200 XP as a result of that? Yeah.
There you go.
A 2 for Torbin. So Torbin, a local tough, takes offense to your swagger and a fight ensues. The two of you ended up in the clink for the night, and bail cost you 8 gold pieces.
Oh, damn. All right.
You also gained 200 XP and a minor rival. So my question is, who is this individual that you got in a fight with? What was the fight over?
He claimed that the dog that we killed was somewhat small to medium sized.
Yeah.
And in my honest opinion, it was much larger than that. And he had to take it back. He knows what's good for him.
It was a demonic, shadowy, ghostly.
I mean, it had fire in its eyes. And,
That's a good callback, because you guys went and did a job for Zeb Loosebottom in the very first episode.
Poison dripping from its fangs.
Yeah, I love it. And this individual who is now a minor rival is named Irv.
Irv.
Yep.
That little twerp, Irv.
It's funny because he's a halfling, and he looks pretty beat up. But he kind of gives you a dirty look, and as you guys are being released from the jail cell, he just kind of like shoves you out of the way as best he can and just storms off. He is not a fan of yours. He is now a minor rival. Irv. That's amazing. I love Irv. I'm sure these NPCs will come back to play some sort of role at some point. They can be used at any time, really. All right, and then finally we'll go to Goldie. Goldie, give me a D8 roll, please.
All right. 7.
A 7. All right, you challenged a local tough guy or gal to a feat of skill or strength, and you won. What was the feat of strength?
How many clean plates you can balance on each bicep?
Ooh.
I happen to balance 30.
So you basically stacked them up on your biceps and were able to hold them there?
Up here and then up here. And this one was really hard for me to stack because I already had these.
You have to stack them yourself?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's an added challenge. I love it.
Little decks in there too.
I like it. So you are also going to gain 400 XP and a rival as well.
Oh.
Someone. It's not like not an enemy per se, but it's a rival. Someone who might want to like re-challenge you in the future, perhaps. And this individual is named. Their name is Zambroni. Yep. His name is Zambroni. Yeah, exactly. They were looking for your job.
Yeah, well, Zambroni's not going to get it because guess who can balance more clean plates?
Wow.
See you later, Zambroni.
All right. Amazing. All right, so Zambroni lost and now kind of has a little bit of a grudge, maybe wants to redeem themselves at some point in the future. You guys have done some carousing, gained some experience points, and some contacts here in Diamond Lake. So now we will, I think, fast forward a little bit to the Gavort. Now, I guess we're calling it outpost. You guys have traveled back.
Fort. It's the Gavort Fort.
Oh, the Gavort Fort. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh,
That's
yes.
really good.
I believe we also carved Gort.
We did.
Or,
So I'm gonna slip in a little V,
Okay, yeah.
or maybe cross it out and then right below it.
Yeah.
Well, just
Oh
a
my
little
God.
V, because that's remembered as the little V.
Jose, all I'm thinking about is more artwork for you to do for us. I'm just thinking
Yes.
we need to have him on retainer. Jose, you're going to be on retainer for the guild.
Why don't you add an axe to it? Add an axe to it.
Ooh, nice.
In the shape of a.
I like it. Maybe it's just a thigh, a drawing of a thigh with an axe tattoo on it.
Yeah.
That'd be very sultry.
I'll write Fort in Goblin above Gavort. Fort
You're
Gavort.
gonna write the words in Goblin?
Oh, this is all in Goblin, right?
No, but I mean, are you writing INGOBLIN?
No.
No. Okay. I just wanted to be clear about that.
Fort Gavort.
I love that. Fort Gavort. That's really cool. All right, so you guys are back at Fort Gavort. You have had a chance to. I'm gonna bring up the map here. I know it's amazing. You guys are super creative. So you guys are here at the. We've got the map up. You guys are at the Gavort Fort or Fort Gavort. Let me bring up the map here for our friends. And there we go. All right, so. You recall that there had been a battle here that you had fought against goblins, running them out. You've got your Gavort carved into the front door. And at this point, you look around. This is like your fort now. This is a home base, so to speak, for you and your team, and will be a little bit of like the rally point for all of the future sessions that will play in Diamond Lake this summer as a jumping off point. So as we bring in new PCs, they will be invited into sort of the Gavort family, and adjustments will be made to accommodate their initials as needed. But you look around and the place is in rough shape. You knew that from before, but it is, you look at the crumbling structure. It's on the top of a small hill amidst the mountains. So you're about 3 hours outside of Diamond Lake. The trail now you know very well. You had buried a dead adventurer who had been crushed by a rock. You actually used the rock as a headstone and put it on top of the pit that you buried this individual in. But there's this waist high wall that goes around the compound. It's in a severe state of disrepair. There's rubble. There are some trees and roots and branches that are penetrating into the fence line and also sort of taking over the ruins of this fort. Behind the building, there is a well, as you recall, and then there's an outhouse in the back where you stuffed a bunch of goblin bodies.
Saving them for later.
That's ominous.
I would have spent a whole day prestidigitating the literal goblin shit from the inside the building.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that would take most of a day actually to do all that. Absolutely. Yeah. Just given the disrepair of this place, you get the sense that in addition to the goblin poo expunging, you burn some sage maybe to kind of get out the poo spirits and all that good stuff. But you're thinking it's going to take probably about 40 hours of work to do the basic repairs on this place. So that could be something that y'all do. You could try to earn some money by exploring to gain money to pay other people to do it. There are laborers in Diamond Lake that could come and rebuild the structure. As you gain more prestige and more resources, you can put those into this Gavort Fort, should you choose to.
Could I make a legend lore check on this place to see if I know anything more about it?
Yeah, you totally can. Remind us about the legend lore and how that works.
So, as a bard, I know things, or I'll bullshit about them. Who knows? But I can roll for a check to see how much more information I can get. It's not as powerful as like a identify spell or detect magic or anything like that, but maybe through my travels, I've heard a little bit more about it in passing of stories.
Okay, so it's a charisma check, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Give me a charisma check.
Ooh, 14 on the die.
Okay, so that is enough to recall the various information I'm about to reveal to you. So this was at one point 50 plus years ago, the headquarters, mine office, if you will, of an operation that was mining in the nearby hills. It was previously owned by someone named Ulgo Font, Ulgofant, Ulgo Font, a dwarf. When he died, the property was left without an owner. For some reason, Vamrid, you've studied and talked with probably, maybe more stories have been told as you've shared cocktails and ales with some of the mining magnates or their underlings probably in town. But Ugo Font owned this mine 50 years ago. He died when the mine ran dry. And the property was left without an owner. And as far as you know, this might need to be verified with sort of the town engineer. Nobody has claimed the deed to this particular mine claim or this structure. Sometimes people from Diamond Lake come up here, but recently it had been taken over. There was a goblin. You had dealt with goblins in the hills. There was an incursion of a goblin tribe that you believe to be still in the area, but has been put down in some cases. And it looks like in this case, they're no longer here because as you arrived, there are no signs of goblins.
It feels like maybe, if we put some paperwork in saying Torbin and myself might be a distant relative of Ulgo, it'd be a smooth paperwork transition for this to be owned by you guys.
This could be ours. I mean, this is kind of ours already, but
Yeah, but you could get it official, so it's in writing.
it is in writing. And I point back at the door. That says
Yeah,
Dwarf.
That's good, right? And that we can defend that. But if we have it in writing, that's even better. It's legal. That's great. Then stories can be told. I look over at Osric and I was like, you understand, right?
I mean, that's something worth considering. Sure, yes, of course.
I mean,
Make it all legal and whatnot. Prevent any claim jumpers.
Right.
Yes.
So if somebody else comes back while you're kicking some ass, we can kick them out and be like, look, I got this paperwork, which means we can kill you and get rid of you.
Legal killing. That's something. There's something to be said for that.
See?
Well, that's a good idea, Everett. I'm glad we have you aboard.
As we are discussing this, Torbin is going to look around the building and look for any kind of like secret or concealed doorways or holes in the walls that might lead somewhere or something like that. It's part of his stonecraft. He gets +2 to find.
Okay.
Those sorts of things. Wisdom.
Yeah, give us a wisdom check with your stonecraft. So you get +2 on this. All right.
9.
Okay, so you look around. You're sort of like scanning the walls, scanning the floor. The walls are in bad shape. You can see right through them in some cases. The main floor has some structural integrity, but the second floor above you, the roof is half gone. So you can see up to the sky. There may need to be some substantial repairs made before the second floor is useful. But what you do discover, and we'll go back to the map here, is that there is a doorway, right? Let me just highlight this for you. There is a stairwell, I should say, right here, that with a little bit of effort, you can pull away the debris blocking it. One stair goes down on this side and the other stairway goes up from this angle. But as you go down this, you can see down into what appears to be a cellar. You also know that there was a sort of blocked access maybe on the side of the building as well that went down to something, but you weren't able to access it when you first made your assault to clear this out, clear the goblins out of here. But with a little bit of effort, maybe half hour's worth of moving debris out of the way, you could gain access to the to whatever lies beneath, if that's something that you're interested in.
Are we going to make this the fixer-upper episode?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gonna want to at least like inspect what's down there.
Half hour. We can
especially if
half
we're
hour.
gonna spend time here.
Yeah.
So we should clear out the staircase that's in the house, right, and leave the outside one full of debris still.
They might lead to the same place.
Probably, but then we would have like a way for people to get in if they were to break in the night while we slept.
I mean,
true.
it might be
Come
good.
get to you,
make sure
Ozark.
there's
I don't
no
smash their
golems
face.
down there.
Well,
All
if we,
right,
if we can clear it out quickly enough, we can. Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay, it'll take you a little bit of time, but you're able to clear it out. I'm going to draw your attention to this location here, and I'm going to make it visible. So you see that there is a cellar here, and as you, don't worry about your tokens or anything, but as you walk down into the cellar to explore it, you can see that it too is in a pretty sad state of affairs. The stairway itself is broken the last couple of steps. There is wooden debris. There is garbage. It looks as though many sort of piles of refuse have been established down here. But one thing that catches your eye is along the east wall, there is a rack of wine bottles. Many of them have apparently been thrown at the walls down here because there is a bunch of shattered glass around the perimeter of the space.
Bloody savages.
Yeah. Yep.
goblins.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any good ones still?
As you look about, you go over to it, and most of them are busted. There's like stains from the wine that was spilled beneath the rack, but there is actually one single dusty bottle that you find that is tucked behind the others that was not destroyed or consumed, and there is a faded label on it. It's written in a sort of a strange script, but you can read it. It says Kioish Red.
Is this good stuff? You work in the hospitality industry, Goldie? Is this good?
You know what? Yes, and I think that we should save it for our triumphant return back here. After
Sounds good to me.
check stuff out. Don't tell anyone else it's here. This can be our secret for right now.
They're all
I should note as well that it does have a date on it, 568 of the common year.
Wait.
Gradzul is what it says.
Well, 568 was a great year, honestly. They're a little bit fruitier than they normally are. There's like a tennis ball finish, but it's going to be really good. So don't tell anyone about it. It's going to be a nice treat when we get back.
Good. It'll be a surprise. I like it.
There's a little undertone of mud too, and I think that we'd all be into that.
Tennis ball. What is a tennis ball and mud? You say, all right, well, I'll take your word for it. You know your stuff.
It's a good
Yes.
vintage. Yeah.
Yeah, 568. There is not much better than 568.
569 was also a good year, but yes.
Oh, do you know too?
I just
Goldie, give me a charisma check, please.
Really?
Yeah.
you got a +2 from me if it's on me.
In Vamrid territory here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's 7.
Okay. Yeah. You, those of you with a discerning sort of demeanor, an ear might catch a little bit of tall tale coming from Goldie in terms of their full knowledge of the year and the vintage, but it's of no importance. It's a bottle of wine. It's free, and it might be good.
It's alcohol. Yeah,
It's very true.
Yeah, I mean,
we're going to want it when we get back.
Osric already knows sommeliers are just full of shit anyway, so,
Well said.
But Goldie probably has a better understanding, so that's what he's going to go with.
That's what friends say.
All right. So, is there anything else? That's all you find down here. Other than, I would say, there's the door off to. I should bring that back up. I just changed the screen, but it's off to the. Let's see.
Southeast.
Yep, the southeast corner. Here in the cellar, there's a door right here.
Probably goes to the stairs going up.
Correct. Yep, it definitely goes to the stairs. And if you were to push through that door, you would see that the stairs go up. And let's just transition this over. People can see. Yeah, so the doorway goes up and it's just blocked with debris. There's cobwebs covering things. But yes, you have a secondary, if you should wish to clear that out, you'd have a secondary entrance into the cellar. So that will be up to you and up to you guys on how much of your resources you may want to put into better defending this place. Right now, it's not well defended. There's a lot of holes in the walls and things of that nature, but with a little bit of elbow grease and maybe like an appearance on Fixer Upper and some Gavording, you may be able to indeed fix this up. So, yeah. Anything else you guys would want to do here at the Gavort Fort?
I think just make it defensible enough before we set off on our expedition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can do your best. How much time would you want to spend Gavortian here to clean it up? As I mentioned, it would take about 40 hours to fully remove all of the refuse and just clean it up to be sort of like free and clear of the goblin stench.
Prestidigitate every day, baby.
Was there any trace of any of them returning when we left?
Nothing that you saw. They appeared to have gotten the message.
Do we want to do anything in case they come back? You want to like tie an axe above the door or something like that? What do you think?
That's a good idea. I'll leave it up to you. Maybe some tripwires and such. But I think we should. I think we get it serviceable. Maybe spend a day making sure we can stay here without vomiting in our mouths, and we're good to go.
All right. So you guys put in how many hours do you think cleaning up?
Let's say a long work day, 12 hours.
Okay. So if someone wants to keep track on repair time, that will go against that 40. So you're down to 28 hours left to remove the goblin stank, the taint of goblin, which is also a wonderful spirit, not distilled in Gradzul. Yeah.
I'm also keeping track of the layout of the house in case they need a schematic at the registrar's office. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know what they're going to ask.
I like it. Bamford, you're in charge of that. That is, love it.
Goldie may or may not have stolen a couple of plates from her place of employment to begin to add to the kitchen, the eating
like 30
accoutrements of this area. You may not have actually gotten all 30.
We might not have a job next week, but that's the point, I guess. Yeah.
I only took a couple so they wouldn't notice. I've got 5 plates. I'm pulling out some plates out of my bag.
I feel like I'm at home.
They're dirty, but whatever.
Yeah, so is the place. So, fits right in.
It's the only way I could get them. I got them out of the dirty dishes.
You just brought them dirty because you wanted me to prestidigitate them.
Yes.
All right. So after some time spent, a good solid day, maybe a day and a half, depending on how much, but you spent about 12 hours in doing your labor to start fixing this place up and cleaning it out. And we can dive into more of the fixing up once you guys have some funds, because it will cost you some funds and time to do some of these needed upkeep things. But in the meantime, you've got a little bit of an urgency in terms of returning to the Whispering Cairn. Now, you will all know that Osric kind of let it slip during his fantastic oration a previous night in town that you discovered the Whispering Cairn, and there were some folks that were asking questions that you were able to sort of brush away from their inquiries. But you do get the sense that there might be others that have keyed into your discovery. Vamrit, of course. Yeah.
We're not taking questions at this time, is what I would have said.
Mm-hmm.
Applications are closed. Applications are closed. We had an opening.
Yeah. There's only one opening on the team.
Position has been filled.
Interviewed very well.
Sorry.
But I know in July there will be three people who will be interested in joining up with the team. So perhaps you can put them to work. Nevertheless, you do get a sense that there's a little bit of urgency to get back to the cairn and see if you can find anything of substantial importance to bring back that may make you rich, help you to earn enough coin to either fix up the Gavort fort and or leave town and adventure out to other areas in the region or beyond. There's a great big world out there that is mapped by our friend Anna B. Meyer that you could go explore. So this is very much a sandbox kind of situation. But for now, you head back up the scree slope. There's a little trail now that you've been able to follow, and it's not hard to navigate anymore now that you're familiar with it. And it brings you back to the entrance of the Whispering Cairn. Now, you had pulled away some of the debris and some of the roots and overgrowth that had covered this archway, if you recall, to reveal this sort of gaping maw of a dark chamber as you make your way inside. Is there anything that you would like to do as you enter?
I think just sort of make sure everything is as we left it. And explain what we saw to Bamrid.
Okay.
Explain, the first 100 feet or whatever, however far we got. You're like, this is that.
We
Yeah,
need a light source too.
Yes, it's very dark in here. Yep. So do you have a torch, I presume, or someone lights a? Okay, so Osric fires up the lantern, and you have oil for it, I assume. So that's good. I will also say, as you get towards the entrance, Torbin, you have a feature of your barbarian called Deer Stalker, which is like general outdoor survival skill. So as you look around, you can see that there is some game in the area. There are probably some sort of goats that are living on the slopes of the hills here. Maybe there are some droppings from a large bird that you're not sure what it is, but you get the sense that with a little bit of hunting, if needed, you could find food. It wouldn't be terribly difficult for you to find food in this area. You also look around, and I will ask you to make let's make a wisdom check as you look down and you see that there are some tracks at the entrance to the Whispering Cairn.
Pretty good. I don't know what would I add to that.
You're going to add any bonus that you have to wisdom.
Nothing. So it's 18.
18 is a success. You look down and you can see that the tracks appear to be your own. And there are no other tracks that you can see aside from some of the wolf tracks, old wolf tracks.
It looks like we still have the place to ourselves.
Good. Well done.
So you make your way inside, and I will draw your attention to the map here. As you walk inside, you walk past some of these alcoves. Of course, I'm going to grab your token, Osric, and just show off a little bit of this. So you remember you were up here. This is where that strange arcane apparatus was. Here, I'm going to bring up the map screen for folks as well.
And this is where all, whatever you're saying is coming out of my mouth, explaining it to Vamred.
Yep. So there's this sort of stone arc, sort of sculpture or art piece here at this pedestal. At the bottom, at the base of the pedestal, there is an arcane glyph that you had made a rubbing of or a sketch of. There are these obsidian shards, almost glass-like, on the ground around it, as if it has been shattered. There is also then to the south here a blocked corridor. It looks like the ceiling has caved in completely and it is barred. There's really no way past it unless you spent a considerable amount of time. I mean, you do have a couple of dwarves on hand, but you've got a lot of other tasks in front of you. But you look at it, and probably with both, I think Torbin and Vamrid would tell you that the structure in that alcove is likely to be very unstable. If you start removing that debris, you might cause the entire thing, the entire ceiling to collapse in that alcove. So it may be ill-advised because you guys both have that stone cunning feature, right? Back in this main chamber, you'll recall that there was a battle with some wolves that came out of the southern alcove. Goldie, maybe a quick flashback that you had gone down almost near death, I would say. Or not Goldie, sorry, Rona. Rona went down.
Yeah.
Didn't I
And
go
so-
down too?
I don't know if you did or not. But I think it was just Goldie.
You got hurt.
Just
Yeah.
Rona.
Everybody, a lot of people got injured in that fight, but Rona was the one that went down. So a little bit maybe of traumatic stress. But anyhow, there is, at this point, as you come upon the space, you can see that there is a corridor through the ruins that heads deeper to the south. There's also a continued alcove that goes to the north. And then before you, there is this opening, this large arched opening that seems to be covered in thick webbing. You can see that there are as a close look, Torbin, you can see there's the spore of the wolves. So maybe there's like wolf droppings in and amongst this. There is a dead animal here, skeleton in here. It looks and around the edges. So it looks like this probably started out as a cache for the kills of the wolves, and now it has been sort of overtaken by spiders of some kind. What would you guys like to do?
So the wolves came from the south, yeah?
They did. They came from the south. There is rubble, but there's a pathway through the rubble, and that's where they came from. So presumably a den, yeah.
Can somebody fit through there? Now that we know they're dead, did we never explored that, did we?
You did not.
All right. Well, we know they're dead, so maybe somebody small enough can get through there. What do you think, my dwarven fellows?
Of which one? The passage to the south?
To the south, where the wolf den is. Maybe the wolves have something in their den that might be of use.
Sorry, Dave, did you say the opening was pretty small? Like,
You could fit through it. Yeah, I think each of you could fit through it. It's not so narrow that you'd have to. Some of the bigger folks in the group would have to squeeze through, but the dwarves and Goldie as a halfling could fit through there.
I want to make sure the dwarves sort of assess the structural integrity sort of deal of this.
yeah,
place.
should we go check it out?
Smart.
After
At
you
least
go.
this ain't no itsy bitsy spider situation. I'd rather go here first than over there.
Sensible, Bambrid, sensible.
My dwarven friends, give me a wisdom check on your stonecraft. Remember, you get a +2 to this.
4.
Okay, and what about Vamred?
I rolled a 16.
Okay, +2 is 18.
Right. Minus
And-
1 is 17.
Okay, so that is successful. You've spent more time in caves and mines than Torbin has. Torbin, you've spent more time out in the wildlands, hunting, fishing, tracking, surviving, helping your father out, and that sort of thing. Whereas Vamrid has been more engaged with some of the mining community of the dwarves in town.
I like the echo of the tuba inside of the caves. It's very
resonance.
very ominous.
It's a great way to test structural integrity too.
Yeah.
Doom
Right.
tuba.
Yeah. Play the Doom tuba. Yeah.
Yeah. See if things charge also. Yeah.
Are you going to play the Doom tuba here? Are you going to hold off a little bit?
Well, just a note.
Okay, one note.
One note. Yeah.
But what a note.
The best traveling instrument a dwarf could have is the tuba. I mean, it's just, he's creating it.
Obviously.
Is it in a case? Do you have a case for it at least?
No,
Just-
I'm not
no
I'm not
case.
that rich. I'm very poor.
Well,
It's not in great shape.
Yep.
Double as a breastplate.
Put it on the
Well,
website.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's
One
You
kind
can
of a
hide
shield.
in it too. So yeah.
It could be a
Basically,
shield.
to crawl through here, I'm gonna tie a rope to it and just drag it along behind me.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Tang,
choice. Yeah.
You get the sense, Vamrin, as you scope it out, you can see that Torbin's kind of has a quizzical look on his face. He's like, I'm not sure if it's safe. You're like, no, it should hold. Just don't, disrupt too much of the rubble, and it should be okay.
Don't play
So-
my tuba while you're going through it. That'll be bad.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're good.
So, are you going to go in there, Torbin? It looks like you're itching to get in there. Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Itching to get in there. I love it. Okay, so as you sneak through there, you can smell the rank odors, and you're gonna need some light. Actually, the dwarves have some dark vision.
Yeah.
Now, it does take a minute for your vision to sort of acclimate to the darkness, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind. That if you're traveling with humans, that can be problematic sometimes because it could potentially blind you if the light comes on when you are acclimated to darkness. So just kind of keep that in mind. But as you move forward, let's see, I would like there to be some light here. So let me, I can make that happen. I know how to do that. Has vision.
Yeah, I find in general traveling with humans can be problematic in game and life. Let's be honest.
Yep. Okay, so the two of you make your way in after letting your eyes adjust a little bit, and you find yourself surrounded by this rank odor of beast. It just wafts up from the rubble. You see hundreds of bones. There's another cache of bones that have been stashed back here. Some of them appear, at least a few of them appear to be humanoid in nature. The human-sized people, if just to get to your question of like getting in there, you'd have to kind of scramble on hands and knees to get into this space if you were to go in here.
Oh, I'm gonna wait for my dwarven friends to come back out.
Yeah, smart.
Unless it continues for a long time, but I assume they'll tell me.
So once you sneak in there, Vamrin and Torbin, what's going on? What's going on back there?
Looks like this is where they would live, I guess. Some kind of old.
Are there any humanoid bones in there? We know there was a halfling that stayed here, right? That cot was at the entrance.
Yeah, Torbin, I'll take a look around at the bones and just see if there's any like belongings from any people that might have been dragged in here.
I would say that
That might have been in here before the animals.
Sure. With your background, you can see that there are indeed humanoid skeletons that are torn apart, but you can see a skull of probably a human or maybe a dwarf or an elf. Most of them are picked clean, so there's not like a lot of flesh on any of these. There might be some chunks of animal meat that was dragged back here, but in terms of humanoids, it's all bleached and broken bones. Possibly a smaller halfling-sized individual, difficult to tell. If you wanted to make an intelligence check, you might learn more about that, Torbin, but with your basic sort of deer stalker abilities, that's what you get.
Okay.
Would you like to make an intelligence check?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Keep looking around.
Yep. Go ahead.
Not great.
Okay.
4 plus something, which is probably not much. -1 for the 3.
Okay. No problem. Yeah, you look around and it's hard to tell if there's Osric asked specifically about a halfling body. You don't see anything that jumps out as halfling. There could be. You're not sure. But you do see that there is underneath some of the bones an old, what appears to be a pack of some kind, like a backpack maybe. Looks like it's falling apart, old leather. Maybe it's been chewed on, gnawed on.
Yeah, he's gonna inspect that, see if there's anything of value there.
Okay, you reach down to pull it. You have to move some of the bones out of the way as you pull this backpack. It starts to fall apart as you do, and it tears open. And you can see inside that there is an elaborate lantern of indigo glass pane. Beautiful. Like no other lantern you've ever seen.
Look at this thing.
Cameron, you look at it as well, and it's not something you've ever seen before.
He's gonna pick it up and just kind of take a look at it. Does it look like it's functional?
It's not broken like the one you found in the Gavort fort.
It's better than the Gavort lanterns.
Yeah.
Bars low.
All right.
It let's see.
This could be useful.
Either of you could make a check if you wanted to see if there's more information you could glean from it.
I would say
that
love
would.
to.
Yep. So for you, that would be, is that a wisdom check? I can't remember. Oh, charisma. You can make a charisma, and Torbin, if you want, you can make an intelligence check.
That would be 14 for Torbin.
14 on an intelligence check. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks really nice. I mean, this thing is in great shape, Torbin, but you can't really pick up a whole lot of like where it was made or what kind of craftsmanship it is. How about you, Vamred?
10 charisma check.
It's unclear. The only thing that really stands out is the elaborate carvings and the indigo glass. The glass panes of this lantern are indigo, which you can imagine would get off a very nice romantic light for some sort of a romantic encounter, perhaps.
Yes, that was the first thing I was thinking in here with Torbin, is this thing would be very romantic.
I don't know why I said that. I'm back on the dating scene, so I'm thinking of ways to spice it up, and I figured an indigo lantern might do it. I don't know.
Mood lighting.
Yeah,
thanks, Castle Keeper.
Right?
Really bringing it back in. Yeah.
Blue glass.
Yep. Not blue, indigo. Indigo.
Yeah, indigo.
Yeah.
Which we would be able to see with dark vision in gray shades, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But just
perfect. Definitely indigo.
Yeah, just roll
It
with
just
it.
makes a feeling come over
And
you.
Dwarf has that skill. So
I mean, it's like being colorblind and guessing a color. Yeah, indigo.
You're a bard dwarf. You can
I'll
see
make
the color of
I'll make shit up.
every rock. Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
Also,
Yep, taste indigo.
Also, as you search through the runes a little bit, something piques your attention, Torbin. As you look down, you think it's a fleshy finger laying on the ground, but as you reach down to like poke it, you can see that it's actually made out of marble. It's a marble index finger. Do you want to leave it or take it, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, he'll pick it up. What do you think this is from?
A stone finger. Don't say dating site, Dave.
No, this is part of this was. I did not make that part up. That part is in there.
I'm sure that there was a statue somewhere. This might be the end of it. It could be the rest of it in this rubble or somewhere else in here. Might have just dragged it off as a toy.
And that's a good hunch, because this entire place that you've seen so far has been defaced. It's been vandalized, if you remember. The walls have been marred with sharp objects or chisels, that kind of thing. So it wouldn't be out of the realm that some sort of statue maybe had gotten smashed or ruined amongst all of this carnage. But nevertheless, that's what you find in the space. And as you head back out to meet your companions, they all are able to, and you all, as you get back into the lantern light and your eyes adjust, you can see that it is indeed indigo. Your hunch was correct.
Your taste buds are on.
I knew it.
It doesn't really go anywhere. But it's cool.
What is that? That's fascinating. I'd like to take a look at that, Dave.
Absolutely. Give me an intelligence check. I assume you're trying to see if you can understand maybe what the details of this lantern are.
I'd like to discern something. Oh, that's a 19 on the die.
Torbin will give the finger
That's a 20 total. 20 total.
Goldie pockets it. All right.
Yep.
All right. So Osric, as you look over this lantern, you confirm that it's indigo, as we've already mentioned.
It is indeed indigo.
You also
Yes,
you can also discern that it seems like it's probably worth a fair amount of coin if you were to try to sell it, for example.
Right.
But more importantly, you see that there are strange, I would say, unrecognizable motifs around some of the ironwork that holds it together. It's not elven. It's not dwarven. It doesn't ping any arcane sort of knowledge that you might have. It seems very different from what you've seen in your previous studies and explorations.
Oh, well, at the end of the day, I'll do a discern magic on it. So we'll just leave that for now. This is very interesting. I've never seen anything quite like this. Well, we'll secure that.
All right. Go ahead.
The other than the webbed passage, what's to the north? We didn't explore to the north.
You did not explore the north. Would you like to do that now?
I'd like to go anywhere where there's no webs in our way.
Yeah.
First.
Okay. So you're going to head to the north. Go ahead and move your token Osric in that direction. I think Torbin also has a light currently on them, so that works.
Yeah. I'll let the beefy boys go before me. But yes.
Sure. Yeah. You can see that there is, again, a wide corridor that leads to a broad dais that spans the back half of this northern wall.
Okay.
And the way that it kind of tapers calls attention to a series of faded frescoes on the left and the right.
Okay. Start checking those out.
Yep. How close are you going to check them out? From where you're on the map right now, it'd be a little bit difficult to ascertain what they might be. But if you wanted to get up and take a look, I would have you...
I'll go parallel with my my dwarven buddies there. Are the frescoes above, like on the second level there? Where the
yeah,
stairs
up those stairs. Yep.
All right. What can I tell from here? Like what's the theme?
Give me a wisdom check. I will say this too. I didn't mention this to you guys before, and I should probably mention it to the folks in the chat that we do have what are called hero points. Each of you starts the session with a hero point that can be used to add a +1 to your roll, but you have to declare that ahead of time. I'm going to put some information about hero points in the chat. Folks in the chat can also use channel points or bits to grant hero points to the players. Then there's also a special hero point. And a special hero point is something you can use after you've rolled the dice. So a regular is something you use before, you declare that you're going to use it, and a special is after. So there you go.
I got a 12.
A 12 on it. And that was an intelligence check? Or no, that was a wisdom check.
Wisdom.
Okay. So it's really difficult to tell from where you are, but you get the sense that there is some sort of depiction of something important, but it's hard to tell from where you are.
If everybody moves with me, I will go up there. What's in the center? What's the point of the room there?
That is part of that's part of the fresco. They kind of line the flanks and the wall almost like in an arc. Okay. Almost like a bit of you get a sense that as you get closer and you're talking to your friends, there's a bit of an interesting inflection point for the sound waves of your voice are kind of bouncing off this almost like an amphitheater effect, where if you stand, the closer you get to the middle of that little curved area, the more vibrant the audio gets from your own voice and the voices of others that might be next to you.
Vamrid, you want to do a show?
I'm actually humming a song while we get up here.
All right, I'm gonna look at the frescoes a little bit more closely.
Thank you, Kayla, for the hero point for the castle keep. Wow.
No.
Exactly. No.
I love it. Thank you so much. All right. So as you get closer, you step forward a little bit farther into the space. Vamrid, you can hear the sound of, Osric. You can hear the sound of Vamrid's little composition that he's working on, perhaps. And on this dais, you can see that the walls, there are these paintings that are a bit faded. But as you look at them, they seem to depict around you as you take them all in sort of at once. They depict a massive room with 7 hallways radiating out from a central location.
Okay.
A chain dangles from each of the 7 hallways. And each of the chains bears a gleaming colored lantern. Clockwise, the colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv.
Nice.
This cave knows Roy G. Biv.
I keep singing my song.
All right, very good. That's good to know. All right, 7 hallways. Does it look like a map of any sort, or is this?
No, it's just like a a mural, almost like a panoramic mural.
Okay.
That sort of makes you feel like you are in the room looking at these 7 hallways that sort of extend before you.
Okay. All right. Take note of that. Write down notes. And I think the only way we haven't checked is the spider web hallway. So gird your loins, fellows. We need to go that way.
All right, so you reconvene before the spider webs. So go ahead and move your tokens down back to that location. Does anyone here, what languages do people speak? I guess I could look at your character sheets, but does anybody speak, no, nobody speaks this language. You hear, yeah, nobody's going to be able, no one's going to speak. This is a very esoteric language.
Speak ancient Sulawese. But that's...
There is what you now, as you stand before this webbed blockade, there is again a green light that seems to gleam from behind, and you could hear the faintest of whispers emanating from whatever is beyond this space. It is thick with web. There are, let's see, there's a pile of bones, but there is an archway that leads beyond into this crazy green glow. All right. What'd you guys like to do here?
First, quick note about the mural. The indigo or the indigo lantern looked like the one we have. Yes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would say that would be a very legitimate assumption or conclusion. Absolutely.
Okay.
Did it seem like it could function as a sort of map?
Like if we lit it?
Well, yeah. If we saw all the colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see this green in front of us, can we kind of glean a possible layout to this place?
Very interesting question. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check, Torbin. That's interesting.
Great.
And remember, you do have a hero point. If you want to use it, you have to declare it ahead of time, and it gives you a +1 to the roll.
I'll use it.
All right. And I do have those on your character sheet, so you can. Each of you has a spot where you can mark those off.
That's a 16.
16 total.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you get a sense that one of the corridors depicted in the mural had a green lantern in it. Absolutely. And that could be potentially what lays ahead. It would seem strange to have such an ornate depiction, to now have this indigo colored lantern, and you're kind of putting the pieces together, and you get the sense that there might be something analogous to what you saw in the fresco up ahead.
Was it? I can't remember the order of the colors, but like was
Roy G. Biv.
Roy G. Biv.
Yeah, so there would be if it was green. If we're seeing green, then that would mean blue is to the right, and indigo right after that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get through these webs though first.
Yes, you have some webs in front of you. Let's see. What would you guys like to do to get through this barrier?
They don't do well with flames, so let's light a torch.
Okay.
And
you fire up a torch?
Yeah, hand it to Torbin. Go, buddy.
All right. So he's gonna wander over there and start trying to light some of the webs on fire.
Okay. as you light the webs on fire, they go up quite well. They start to sizzle and burn. There's a little bit of flame. It gives off a little bit of smoke, but they just sort of like almost like evaporate from the heat of the flame as you come forward. You know, like as if you were, we've all seen those Tomb Raider or Indiana Jones movies where the webs just sort of like fall apart as they heat up, and you do the same thing. And as you're pushing through, you see small swarms of spiders skittering away from the heat of the flame and delving deeper into the chamber beyond. The amount of green glow starts to increase as you can now see down the corridor, that green light coming from somewhere. It's sort of amorphic in terms of the source, but you can tell for sure that there's something emanating a green glow. And my friends, this is where we are going to take a quick break. I think this is a good spot as you have burned down the webs, you've agitated some spiders, and we'll see what happens with all of that when we come back from our break. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us as we dive into the summer of Siege with our friends at Troller Games. We're playing Castles and Crusades, and I would say so far it's going pretty well. Like we're kind of killing it. So that just shows to Goya that Castles and Crusades is an easy game to master.
Ain't dead yet.
We feel pretty
pretty confident. We will be back in just 5 minutes. Hang tight. We'll be back. And thank you so much for being here. So as we return to the adventure here, my friends, you have gone back to the outpost, the Gavort fort. You have done a little bit of upkeep to remove the stank of goblin. There's still work to be done. You have, with a sense of urgency, headed back up the mountain slope to the entrance to the Whispering Cairn. You have delved deeper into the cairn, bypassing some of the areas and relating some of the discoveries that you made on your previous excursion to your new companion, Vamred Craigthane, a tuba-playing dwarven bard from Diamond Lake. You have learned a little bit about some of the denizens of this space, particularly in the wolf cache. You found a couple of things, including a very exquisitely made indigo lantern and a marble finger. Thank you, Brungal. Anna, you have a hero point to add to your character sheet.
Thank you.
You have
Thank you,
explored. Yeah, thank you so much. You explored the frescoes to the north and got a little bit of a view of perhaps what might lay ahead based on some of your reconnoitering. And you have burned off the webbing of this blockade, sending spiders scurrying in all directions. And with that, we will say that you are able to pass through the chamber and enter into a new space here. As I would think, Osric, you still have the lantern lit. I'm going to bring up the map here for folks as we move into this new space. You see a long, broad hallway that ascends a flight of stairs and opens into a broad chamber ahead of you that is obscured in darkness, aside from a faint green glow that is sort of coming straight across in this direction from whatever lays in the darkness beyond it. What would you like to do?
I think Torbin also has a torch, right?
Oh, yeah.
Torbin has a torch.
Burning webs.
Yeah.
Okay. Webs. There you go. You also have a torch. You should have that now, Torbin. As you move forward, you should be able to see a little bit more. Okay.
Move forward, and I'm expecting something like the hallway that we saw in the fresco.
Yep. Okay, so as you step forward, you see that there is what appears to be a very broad chamber. The ceilings are about 10 foot high until you come out of this hallway that you're in into this massive domed ceiling, approximately 40 feet above you. You are deep inside of whatever this mountain hillside is.
Well,
and you can see as you look around that there are indeed 7 chambers, or at least you can see maybe 4 of them, but you can, as you would go deeper in, you can see that there are 7 of them, one of which is glowing a green color. At the center of this chamber, there is a sarcophagus. This dome chamber, there are 7 short tunnels, some of them extending 30 feet before ending in round walls. Opposite, there's the green lantern, as I mentioned. The dome above it, there at the very center, there is a sarcophagus. Now, as you approach this, all of you can see that this marble sarcophagus, atop it is carved this milky white bas relief figure. Possibly human. Maybe not. It's uncanny. It's bigger than a human might be.
It's like a death mask on the actual sarcophagus.
Yeah, that would be a good interpretation. I mean, it's possibly depicting what might be inside of it, perhaps.
Yeah,
full body, or just
it's a full body. It is a tall figure, approximately, best guess, 7 feet in length. The sarcophagus itself is over 10 feet in length upon this strangely shaped dais. If you look at this particular depiction, it is a strange, hairless, almost androgynous figure. Arms and hands rest at its sides.
Is it missing a finger?
Yeah. The left hand curls itself into a fist and is placed with the palm up. Turned in, and there is an index finger pointing but is missing.
All right, where's it pointing to?
Goldie will pull the finger out of her pocket. You guys,
Is that the finger?
I mean, does it look like it might match?
I think it is. Yes,
It definitely looks like it matches.
the finger's pointing somewhere, or no?
It's pointing to the north.
North.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. On a hunch, I'm gonna check out just far enough that I can see into the alcove and see what colors I can see. If there's lanterns there, if they're not lit, obviously, except for the green one.
Sure. All right, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yep. So, Goldie, you are kind of doing the glass slipper sort of vibe and trying to see if the finger fits the figure. And as you go down, and you finger the bas relief, and it certainly fits. It looks like maybe it's been chipped. It's not like it doesn't like fuse to it or anything, but it's made from the same material. It definitely fits that particular sculpture.
Is it missing anything else? Like,
you give it a pretty good inspection, right? And it doesn't appear to be missing anything else, but it does appear to have around this hairless androgynous figure's neck is an amulet that's carved into the depiction, and it has a scarab-like beetle on it. And I would say that Osric, if you were to take a look at it as well, you would see that upon the scarab insect carapace, and this is all stone engraving, is a glyph similar to the one that was at the base of the apparatus that you saw earlier in your exploration.
Huh. Interesting. Make note of that.
Let's, as you're sort of doing that and looking at these different chambers, let's go over quickly to Rona. Rona, as you walk into this room, what are you doing? What are you taking note of?
I'm starting to look left to right, like behind me, like what was it, like 8 o'clock? The first one. Hang on a second, let me point. So I start taking a peek into this, like
Sure.
alcove or corridor in there to, and then if I don't see anything there, then I'll take a peek in here. And
How far into that alcove do you go, Anna? Why don't you go, Rona? Why don't you?
I go to the entrance like this.
Okay.
That's as far as I go, and then I sneak over here and take a peek there.
Okay.
If I don't see anything suspicious. Yeah.
In the first corridors, let's go bring it back over here.
Yeah.
As you look inside of that corridor, you've got enough illumination from the torch and the lantern to see that at the end of this chamber, there is no, it doesn't appear as though there's a lantern hanging. However, as you move over to this one and look down the northern corridor, you are able to see from the little bit of illumination that catches the glass an orange paned lantern that hangs on a chain.
That is not lit.
It is not lit, but it catches the sort of glint of the torchlight.
Okay, I can see the reflexes in the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, she keeps ready just in case something comes running out of the darkness.
The red one is missing?
Yes, there is no lantern hanging from that.
So we found the
red one.
We found the indigo, and the red one is missing as well. So there's one missing, the red one.
Yep. Red one is missing. You see the orange one.
Yeah, I'm gonna step around just to double check each corridor from a distance.
Sure. So we'll come back to that in a second. Vamred,
Okay.
what are you doing as this is all taking place?
Still humming my song as I go look at the sarcophagus and maybe do a legend lore to see if I can figure out anything, but I'm just humming my song. I used to shine bright like gold. Now I'm all indigo. The colors are darker and cold, and I think it's time I went home. And I don't understand why I always feel dead and alone. Well, I used to shine bright like gold. Now I'm all indigo. Just because we got the lantern, it's in my head, but
I love it. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give us a charisma roll for your legend lore.
Let's do it. $13 is what I got on my roll.
Okay, so you look at this sarcophagus and you don't recognize what type of creature this is. Maybe it's a human. It's really difficult to tell. You've never seen anything quite like this. The etchings that haven't been damaged, because there is a little bit of vandalism upon this as well. You do get a sense as you look about that there appears to be some scratches in the floor around the sarcophagus. That's about all you pick up on this. This is some ancient creature. The only other thing I will say that you pick up with the legend lore, because the challenge level was a bit higher than what you rolled, is that this is not, again, elven or dwarven construction. This is something entirely different. And while you're taking that all in and maybe sharing some of that with your companions, Torbin, what are you doing?
Torbin was, taking a look around, but he's kind of come back to the sarcophagus now, and he's just gonna kind of inspect it for like traps or like hidden compartments or anything like that. That might be kind of in the stonework.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a stonecraft roll, which is a wisdom-based roll.
Yeah. Not that great. 8.
You don't get a sense based on a cursory examination that there's a trap, but you do get the sense that after Vamred shows you the scratchings in the floor, that there's something about the sarcophagus that is important. You're not sure what, you do get a sense of you for a moment you think about maybe we should open this sarcophagus, see what's inside, and you get this instant sense of dread.
No, we
from
don't.
that
Open,
thought.
You never open sarcophaguses. Sarcophagi, or whatever. You don't open it. Yeah. If you can't spell it, don't open
it. That's right. If you can't read the name on the tombstone, stay away from. Don't dig it up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the sense you get with that roll. And let's go to Goldie next. Goldie, what are you doing while this is all taking place? You see your companions investigating, moving about the space. What's Goldie up to?
I don't know that Goldie's actually attached the finger yet. She was just kind of trying to see if it fit. But now her attention is drawn to the scratches on the ground. On the ground? Is that where the long scratches are? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is going to focus in on those and try to determine if they're like coming from the sarcophagus or underneath or point of origin on the scratches.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check.
6.
Hard to say. You can see that they are deeply grooved. It looks as though they have some geometric sort of structure to them, but it's unclear if it's a sign of something or if it has something to do with something being dragged across the ground. It's unclear to you what that might be.
But I can't tell where they originate.
They all originate within the vicinity of this sarcophagus.
Okay.
All right. With that said, we'll go back to Osric. So Osric, you were investigating the other chambers, as it were, correct?
Yeah. All I wanted to do was verify what if the lanterns are present, because we know the green was lit, but I want to make sure that the other ones are there and or present. So, from what I can tell, we have the indigo, and the red one is still missing. And the other one.
The red one is missing. There's an orange colored to the north at 12 o'clock. There is a yellow lantern at the, 3 o'clock. No, that's not 3, whatever, 1, 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, there's the green glower. That's the only one that's lit. There is a blue to the, whatever that is, 4. At 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, it appears as though it is missing.
Yep. So that's the indigo. That's the indigo.
That would be a great assumption, is that's the indigo. And then there is a violet one that hangs in that sort of bottom left-hand corner.
All right. So cohorts, we are missing I'm going to also take a look at the scratches. Does it look like it might be a result of the sarcophagus itself moving?
Give me an intelligence check as you examine this. And remember that you do have that hero point, I believe, still?
Yes. But I already rolled.
Okay.
10 on the die plus... where's my pluses? 3.
Those 13 total, and obviously intelligence is a prime stat for you. So yes, you look down, and as your companions sort of point out the patterns, and Goldie is sort of thinking like there's some geometric integrity here, and Bamert is humming his violet tune, and Torbin is sort of down on his knees, sort of like getting, examining. You get the sense that yes, indeed, there is what appears to be concentric scrapes around the edges of the sarcophagus, and you believe that potentially they are made from its rotation.
Does it look like it might rotate in such a way? Oh, interesting. So
I think that finger points.
Yeah. So it looks like the base of the sarcophagus looks like an arrow, and it's pointing to the north. And that's the same direction that the finger is pointing, yes?
That is the same direction the finger is pointing.
All right. I wonder if we can move this to point towards the lit lantern. Something might happen.
Let's try it.
I don't know if that's possible. Maybe it moves on its own accord once the lanterns are lit. Maybe we need to light the northern lantern and see what happens. What do we think?
Yeah.
Can we light these lanterns? I mean, do they look lightable?
I mean, they're there.
Let's go light one.
We could examine the indigo one. We still have that, right?
We do. We have the lantern. But it's already pointed to the northern lantern, which is the yellow, right? Yes.
I think we should.
Orange.
light
It is
one.
the orange.
Sorry. Yes,
Yep.
the orange one. I'm a bit colorblind.
Should we try to light it? See what happens?
That would be my guess. We don't have the red one, so we can investigate that. And if it's whatever the effect is, if we need all of them, then we're plumb out of luck. But if it's per lantern, then maybe we light the one that it's pointing to already.
It could be past that cavern that was crumbled in.
It
We
could
might
be.
have to go that
Yeah.
way.
Could be. Let's deal with one conundrum at a time, though. I think we light the orange. What do we think? Do we light the orange, or do we try to turn it on our own accord?
I think we should light the orange.
Let's light the
Yeah.
orange then.
Yeah, Roller
Alright.
likes orange. That's good.
So how are you going to light? What do you have to light it with?
It's the color of Greyhawk. Like the orange one. Yeah.
So you said it's hanging from the ceiling on a chain?
Yep.
How far above us?
Oh, not far enough where one of the humans could probably reach it.
So we could? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I have a flint and steel.
Oh,
And I have-
you know
we have-
what? They're only hanging 5 feet from the floor, so they're easily reachable.
Perfect. Well, we have a
Yep.
torch. So
Mhm.
there you go.
So you're gonna take a torch and set it inside the orange.
Yeah, whatever. When we get to the lantern, or just from looking at the indigo lantern that we have under possession, what does it look like the mechanism is? Does it look like it has a wick, or you're supposed to set something into it?
It looks as though it has an oil reservoir
Okay.
with a wick, but you could also set something inside of it. It's totally up to you and your ingenuity.
Okay. Well, if it has an oil reservoir, we have oil, or I have oil. I can just make sure that it's full, and we'll just light it with the torch. Light the wick with the torch. If there's a wick. If there's not a wick, then we'll just improvise one.
Okay. Yeah, there's a wick. You'd have to put oil in it. So if you have a flask of oil, you'd use that flask of oil to get it burning. Absolutely.
I do.
Okay.
I shall.
So it now gives off some light.
All right. Anything happen?
It lights up and it gives off this beautiful orange glow.
All right.
Goldie is standing right next to the sarcophagus. Has anything changed with the sarcophagus?
Not noticeably, no.
Okay.
Maybe they all need to be lit then.
Well, where do we get the red one?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Should
Do we want to?
we-
Do we want to see if we can move it manually to point towards the green one?
Say no more.
Yeah, I say we try.
Goldie will start trying to
I,
push it.
that's yes. That is beyond my skill set. So have at it.
All right, Goldie, you get down and you start to push and you're just like, oh, it's pretty heavy.
Oh, I can do it.
The rest of you watch as Goldie strains.
Oh,
Torbin, go. Torbin, go.
it needs some dwarf power.
There you go.
All right, so Torbin and Goldie, give me strength checks, please.
Now, what does it mean if this is like a primary?
It means it's easier than it would be if it was a secondary. So you don't have to worry about it. You just tell me what you rolled. Add your strength bonus to your D20 roll. And your level.
And your level, yeah.
Oh, and the level.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus and ooh, that was pretty good.
21.
Strength bonus and level would be for level 2, right?
Yep.
20.
Goldie rips her shirt.
Oh no, 22.
Flexing.
22 and 21. Yeah, no problem. You guys are easily able to turn the sarcophagus, and as it gets to the the yellow corridor, it clicks into place.
Oh, the yellow one.
Yep.
Wow.
And as it does, you hear this great rumbling. And you can see as Osric, as you move forward, go ahead. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
Move
Go
forward.
Definitely.
Don't be overly scared. As you move toward it, you see dust begin to sort of like shake and mobilize into the air. And you can see with the glow of your lantern, sort of these dust particles as the whole chamber is like shaking and groaning.
Go
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
I had a hunch. I was gonna go run and try to light that lantern, the yellow one.
You want to try to do it? Go for it.
Hurry.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid that something's happening because we didn't light it correctly. In the correct
Maybe
order.
if you do it quick.
Yep. Give me So we won't go into initiative order yet, but just give me a dexterity check as the rest of you watch him race forward.
I'm
Shit,
gonna
we need some
use-
oil.
I would like to exalt him for this. I would like to use my skill to give him a bonus as I start singing, "Run to the hills, run for your
I would
life."
love to use that. I would love to be exalted, and I would also love to use that hero point that I have.
All right, so you're gonna use the hero point. Vamrid, give me a charisma exalt roll, please.
Okay. 15.
That is a success. So you have with the hero point and the exalt, you have +3 to your roll for dex.
All right. Let's see, and then I get and that doesn't include my pluses, right?
You still add your level and your bonus to dex. If you have a bonus to dex, you still add that.
I do.
But
My total is,
it's not a prime, it's a secondary for you, so
Correct.
it's going to be a little bit harder.
Correct. Yeah. So my straight modifier is level and dex is 3.
Okay.
Plus 3 from Vamrid. I got a 13 on the die.
Yep.
So that's a total of 19.
19. That's more than enough. You race forward, and as you're running forward, you're pulling out another oil flask. Do you have another oil flask?
I do. I have 3 total.
Okay.
Yep.
And you race forward, and I will ask you to make a dexterity save for me, please. So it is again a D20 plus your dex bonus if you have one, and your level.
Am I still being exalted?
How long does the exaltation last for, Chad? Do you know?
At least my level rounds.
But it's only for one check during each round, correct?
It's for.
We looked at this.
So it's gonna be for because he was rolling dex, so it would still be for dex.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it doesn't apply to this based on my understanding of exaltation. But yeah, go ahead. Yep.
I got a 15 on the dice plus 3, so 18 total.
Yeah, more than enough. You get forward and you pour the oil into the lamp, and you're trying to strike your flint and steel to get it going, right? And it's unfortunately you don't get it lit. You dip out of the way of the you ran off without the torch, so that doesn't help. But you see the floor. There's this 5-foot diameter space on the floor, and this cylinder, the grumbling is right below your feet. You can feel the ground beneath you shaking, and you watch as the cylinder shoots up from the ground into place, and it knocks you back against the wall of the chamber. You spill a little bit of the oil. Some of the oil went in the lantern. Some of the oil is spilled on the ground. It's unlit for the moment, but at a second, as you start to like pick yourself up, dust is floating in the air, as I mentioned before, obscuring a little bit of your visibility. You watch as this metal cylinder that shot up from the ground begins to slide open. 2 doors slide open on the cylinder.
Nope. Bye. I'm running back to my party.
Okay.
Just tell me when we're rolling initiative, because I'm going to.
Goldie will run an intercept course.
What are you trying to do, Goldie?
Get in front of Ozarek so he doesn't get attacked. She's the
What-
bodyguard.
I'm saying, doors opening behind me. Make
Okay,
sure everybody's
go
aware.
ahead
There's
and
Rhoda
move
is
your.
trying to run up here too, so yeah.
Okay, so Goldie, go ahead and you have a token on the map. Go ahead and move it to where you want it to be. Okay.
Which I guess
All
we're
right.
high-fiving as we pass. I just don't want
All right.
to be
All right,
attacked.
everybody, stop moving your tokens right there. All right.
Can I run
All
up
right.
too?
Torbin wants to look.
Sure. Where do you want to be, Rona?
I run up here, so
Torbin
I'm
wants-
keeping Osric in check
Okay.
here too.
So,
So when
yeah.
the first bodyguard runs off, the standing can
rotate.
come in. Yeah.
I love
So
it.
as the dust settles, you look down this corridor. Now you can see that there is this cylindrical, this metal cylinder that rose from the floor, knocking your companion into the wall. Luckily, not doing any damage because you rolled a nice dexterity save. But the lantern remains unlit, and like I said, the cylinder. Just a second after you started to back away, the doors opened on it. They slide open.
Where? So the cylinder is in front of the lantern, like on the map. I'm trying to.
It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna say it's over the lantern. It's a little bit higher than 5 feet. It sits over the cylinder. The lantern is up above the cylinder because that just makes more sense.
Got it.
What's inside?
I have no idea, but we should probably get that lantern lit. What?
Give me the torch.
Yeah, here you go. Somebody else has the torch. I don't have the torch. I have a lantern.
Torbin, do you want to give me the torch?
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Okay, let's go. I'll go with Torbin up to light the torch, looking at the crack mostly in the cylinder that's opened up.
Okay. Yeah, you guys creep forward. And as you do, you can see that it seems to be an empty chamber, a circular chamber inside, just hanging open.
It's like a doorway to somewhere.
That is a decent interpretation.
Doorway in the air, like so. It's the floor is 5 feet up.
Think of an elevator.
Ish.
It rose up to the level that you're standing on and then
Oh.
opened the doors.
Got it. Huh.
So it's in front of the lantern.
It's underneath.
The lantern hangs above it.
Yeah, it's underneath the lantern.
Yep.
Got it.
I wonder then what happened. So nothing came out, which is my fear.
That's right.
Okay. What happens if we light the lantern then? Since we seem to have a bit of respite.
Well, what's on the floor in there then? We can see the floor.
Yeah,
Of the
it appears to be
elevator.
empty. You look at the floor, it's dusty. There's a lot of dust back here. You kind of cough in as you clear the dust out from the rumbling and the appearance of this cylinder from the floor.
Do we light it?
Yeah, let's.
I think light it.
And
I
then-
think they're meant to be lit.
He's gonna.
Well,
shine
can
it.
either of us reach the lantern? We're two shorties.
It's only 5 feet off the ground, and you're holding a torch. Can I touch?
Just yell up, up, up.
We'll light it if we can't. Oh, climb on Torbin's shoulders or something.
Oops.
We're lighting it.
You light it. There's enough oil inside of it that you light up, and it gives you some illumination.
I'm gonna hold the torch down to the opening, like the door that opened up. Just
Mm-hmm.
kind of shine it in there a little bit to see if I can see anything.
You look inside. It looks like it's dusty. The floor doesn't seem to have any tracks inside of it at all. It looks like this is very strange, Torbin. You're not a miner. You're not like a stone worker. You're not a I don't know. You're not an arcane sort of trained individual, but this is very weird. Like that this pillar would emerge and then open up to reveal some sort of a chamber inside. It's just a tight 5-foot diameter circular chamber that could fit one individual.
Can I walk up there?
Absolutely.
Let's get a better view of this.
Well,
Huh.
It looks like it's empty, but I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. It's weird.
Like it might take.
I don't want to
somebody-
go in there.
I don't either. If it's just one person.
Yes, I have a feeling that if one of us stepped in there, it would the elevator would, or this whatever this shaft is would go back down.
You guys want me to throw this finger in there?
What she said.
No, we need to keep the finger.
Keep the finger. Keep the finger for now.
Okay.
The bar goes in.
All right. So now, what are you doing?
Vamrid
I-
steps forward as
I-
if to
I don't-
enter.
No, I slide in like I'm going into home plate. I'm just curious.
Oh, we're gonna have to scratch that V out now. Or
As
How
Vamrid
that
steps
work?
inside of it with all the best intentions, the doors immediately close, and you all feel this rumbling, and the dust gets kicked up again, causing you to cough, and the cylinder drops back down into the floor and the floor seals above it as it disappears into darkness. And Vamrid has survived almost a full episode of Shadows of Greyhawk.
wasn't one of us.
No, and we didn't even have the tuba to play taps for him.
Yeah.
Goldie can pull
The
out her
Doom
broken
tuba. Yeah.
Torbin's gonna go up and kind of hammer at the stone. What would be the top of that cylinder that just?
It's gone. The cylinder is gone, and now it's flush with the floor, so you can kind of inspect that. And there is a little bit of a circular groove where the floor closed in around the aperture, the opening that was left.
He's gonna go kind of tap on it to see if he can get Vamrid to tap back.
He's a dwarf.
Well, Vamrid hears nothing.
He can fix this.
Vamrid hears nothing.
Hammer on.
He's a dwarf. He's in the rock.
What if we go over and push the sarcophagus back just a little bit and then hit it again? Well, it should come up again, right?
And even the tuba
That's what
fit
made
in
it
there.
Oh
So,
my god.
Tuba is
so the
Doom
whole
tuba.
shebang went in there without a hitch.
And so in 100 years, they'll find a tuba and they'll think it's a magical artifact.
Oh, imagine when he starts ghosting this place, it will be like Doom tuba ghosting. Yeah.
They're so callous with your life expectancy. I mean, you're the newest guy. You're the green shirt on the team.
Fresh meat.
We hardly
Yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
This soon, not so whispering. Be the tuba Cairn.
Doom can. Yeah. It's
I
not
look at-
mystery anymore. Sorry.
I
I
look-
believe that just happened.
Why did he do such a thing? That's
Did you see how he slid in there too?
I mean, it was impressive. Maybe he
Yeah.
wanted to go
Very impressive. Yeah.
back to Moradin's embrace.
Jesus, Vamp.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, we don't know he's dead.
How
Torbin.
poetic. Yeah.
Corbin, any ideas? You with your stone cunning? Anything?
I imagine he's just stuck in this thing, or
Do you
it's
have
a
elevator
doorway to
knowledge?
another level.
Give me a stone cunning roll as you're investigating this circular piece of construction where this pillar once was. There's a wisdom roll for you.
Or if we spend 10 rounds making jokes, then we start looking.
It's gonna be an 11.
Yeah.
11 total for a wisdom check. Yeah. You also get +2. Is that with the +2?
That's with the +2. Yeah.
Okay. And you have no special hero coins yet, as of yet. Okay. The best you can discern is as you tap. What kind of weapon do you have? Do you have a dagger?
I have a battle axe.
Battle axe. As you take your dagger out and you tap with the hilt on the stone circle, and then you tap on the stone floor next to it, and it sounds different. When you tap on the circle, it sounds hollow. When you tap on the stone near it, it sounds like what you would expect a stone floor to sound like.
We break through?
Oh, I mean, I got a crowbar and a hammer. I mean, we could try to pry this thing back up. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Why don't we just spin the sarcophagus all the way around and hit it again?
Yeah.
We
I
can,
mean, that's what worked last time. I
we
think
can
should
try it.
that.
Yeah, we don't
We're-
have to break everything.
We're down a little bit of muscle, but we can try. Give it a shot.
Well, I ripped my shirt, but I think me and Torbin did it all right the first time, so we can go back and try to just do a couple more spins.
All right.
All right, while this conversation is happening,
Meanwhile,
meanwhile, Vamred, you are in this dark cylindrical tube, and your eyes begin to adjust as best you can, but you are in a very tightly confined space. What kind of a nervous tune are you humming?
Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. Help! I need somebody now.
The entire cylinder is shaking as you are humming this tune. It's more fitting than I could have ever hoped for. As you descend, you feel your body as a dwarf. You know this. You feel your body descending deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and about that deep. As you get to the bottom, you feel this as it stops moving.
13th floor.
And you watch as the doors open up. And you find yourself in a small chamber, not more than 20 foot by 15 foot in dimension. There's a fine layer of dust that covers everything. You stand up inside this cylinder as you look about. You can see with your dark vision as a dwarf, excuse me, your deep vision as a dwarf. You can see that there are, again, some bas relief images carved into the chamber walls, similar to the slender figure upon the sarcophagus lid in the chamber above. Nearly a dozen of them, androgynous, hairless humanoids, tall, much taller than you. They seem to stand in poses of deference, as if they are in a state of sort of awe or of maybe of worship or adulation. It doesn't take a whole lot to, as you're a bard, you understand emotion. You can see the beautiful carvings of their faces that seem to be, as I mentioned, sort of these perspectives of adoration. It's interesting though, several of the statues lack hands. Some of them are lacking heads. And it appears as though there is signs of vandalism and desecration here.
I'm gonna write in the little tube thing before I leave. I'm not dead yet. V.
Okay.
It's amazing. You carried this humongous thing the whole session and you haven't used it yet.
So as you look around this room, you also see that there is a small cylindrical button inside of the cylinder that you're in.
You had me at button, Dave.
Do you push it? You push the button?
I mean, if I don't see any other way.
Well, you could you could investigate the space if you want to, or you could press the button right away. It's up to you.
I mean, I am a little impulsive. Before I press the button, I'm gonna play a little bit of the tuba to get things shaken up to see if anything comes out. Which is a horrible idea, but I got a tuba and I gotta do it.
Okay. So you play the tuba.
And then I push the button.
The sound resonates within this small chamber. But as you reach out to push the button, you just take final stock of the space, the bas relief carvings, the androgynous humanoids, and directly across from this cylindrical chamber that you're in, about to press the button, you can see that there is a massive stone block that seems out of place. About 10 foot wide, 8 foot tall. Looks heavy. It looks as though it is blocking a passage to somewhere. And then you reach over and press the button. The doors close, and the entire chamber begins to shake, and you feel yourself shooting up and up and up. I don't remember how many times you went down, but up to the amount of times I said. And then boom, as your companions are walking back after debating for a while on what to do with you, they're walking back towards the sarcophagus. The cylinder, you guys all feel the ground shake again, and you look back, expecting maybe to see a dead dwarf or whatever it might be. And as the doors come up, or as the cylinder comes up, the doors open, and there is Vamred standing there looking at you.
Playing the tuba, devil horns.
What happened to you? What?
We thought for sure you were a goner, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you think I was a goner, fellow dwarf? You know we survive. I wasn't even scared as I hide the piss stain on the front of my pants a little bit. I wasn't even scared. Little pee came out. There's a cool chamber down there with a bunch of statues, a little messed up, and some kind of doorway that's blocked by a stone.
How did you get back up here?
Well,
all of these have little doorways in them.
Perhaps.
There's only one way to find
Only
out.
one way to find
I
out.
know at least two of them do, or at least there's two ways up and down. You'll never believe this, but there was a button. It was the fineliest crafted button I'd ever laid eyes on.
Huh. Fascinating.
What?
Is this tube still out? Is this tube still hanging out so somebody else can get in there?
Yeah, the tube is still there.
Okay. Do we want to try turning it to the green since it is lit and we're already pointing in that direction? What do we think?
Yeah.
Do you
Let's
tell
see what
them about
happens.
the blocked passage as well at the bottom of the elevator ride?
I did.
Yep.
I think back to the fresco. Is there anything I can glean from what the fresco showed and what I'm seeing here in this room now? Was there a specific color that might be more important than others, or?
No, you don't get the sense that there's colors that seem to be important. All of the colors bore the same weight of depiction in the tapestry, or not the tapestries, but the frescoes.
Sure.
Yeah. But you do find it interesting that there is chambers beyond this rather elegant resting place for a particularly ornate sarcophagus.
Yes, I've seen my share of sarcophagi, and this is something beyond anything I've ever seen.
The creatures downstairs were kind of also similar to this.
Creatures?
Thing.
Downstairs?
There were creatures.
The statues
Of the creatures.
that I said. Yes.
So there are more
sarcophagus.
More sarcophagi.
No, just statues. They've been beat up a little bit. They've been messed around. So something's been down there tearing it up.
Interesting.
Similar to the vandalism you saw in the previous exploration, I would say.
Okay. Well, let's turn it to the green. See what happens. Since we're all still feeding on our adrenaline rush.
And somebody peed my pants. I don't know who when I was going down.
There is such thing as an invisible stalker. Perhaps this was an invisible peer.
I think you're onto something.
Well, again, this is beyond my skill set, so point to the sarcophagus.
You got it, boss.
So before you guys reconvene at the go ahead and move your tokens back to the sarcophagus. Is there anything that you want to do relative to the green glowing lantern before you do this? Or are you just going to go for it?
Well, this one is lit.
That one's lit.
It is lit, yeah.
Wait a second. I'm going to look at the lantern that's lit because these they're oil lanterns. This shouldn't be lit unless somebody was here within the past hour. Right?
So you go to investigate.
I'm
Are there
gonna go.
any tracks?
You look down at the ground, Goldie, and hey, give me a wisdom check. Sure.
13. Oh, wait, add my level.
Yep.
15.
15 on a wisdom check. All right, yeah. There are no tracks that you can discern in the dust here. It's probably been a long time since someone delved in this area.
But I do remember it being really dusty when the previous cylinder came up and went back down.
There's a lot of dust,
Could've
yeah.
Easily covered.
Mhm.
Does it look like there's a cylindrical area below the lantern?
Yeah, now that you know what to look for, you can see that there is a circular sort of similar to the yellow lantern chamber.
Does it look like it's been disturbed recently? Like it came up and
Not
down?
recently.
Huh.
But as you look at the lantern, it's interesting. You see that there is a torch burning in it. Someone placed a lit torch inside of it.
So that's somebody has been here in the past hour or so, right? I mean, torches don't
What?
last that long
Unless it's magic.
unless it's a magical
Probably your
torch.
big mouth
Yeah.
bar left me.
Is it a magical
Can you
torch?
tell?
Can I tell? Yeah.
How would you be able to tell, do you think?
Well, I can cast discern magic.
All right.
So there.
Since I have it and we're here.
Okay, so you're gonna cast detect magic.
Yeah, discern magic, and I'm gonna do that on the lantern, on the torch, and on our lantern as well.
Sure. How long does that last and everything? I'm not
Two
super familiar
minutes.
with that. 2
I
minutes.
cast it in 2 minutes.
Okay. So you use your arcane abilities. What does that look like when you cast the spell?
Let's see. It has. Let's look at my spell book, which I made.
Because the description of the spell casting can have
Yes,
effect.
yes. Speech and hand gestures. So a couple of arcane words and some hand gestures. That's what it
Okay.
looks like.
All right. So you cast this spell, and you can see that the lantern and the lantern that you hold, the indigo lantern, do not appear to have any magical essence to them, although they are beautifully crafted.
Okay.
But the torch
Aha.
is indeed magical.
Fascinating.
Now, does discern magic give you any additional information besides whether or not it's magic?
Let's see.
We'll learn all the spells eventually.
Yeah,
We're just getting started here.
Text magic in a 10-foot wide by 150-foot long zone.
Mhm.
It will reveal as lingering, faint, moderate, strong, or overwhelming. Can penetrate barriers up to a foot of stone. And the casting keeper may allow additional rounds, concentrating to decipher the confusion or reveal weaker auras. You may require an intelligence check to do so. There you go. That's about it.
Okay. All right. Give me an intelligence check.
I'd love to.
So you know that it's magic.
16 on the die, so that's 19 total.
On an intelligence check, that's really good. The best you can guess, and you've never seen one of these before, but you've read about them, is that this could be based on the fact that Goldie told you there's no tracks. Torbin is up in the chamber too with you. There are no tracks in the dust. Your best guess with all of that information, Osric, is that this must be some sort of an ever-burning torch.
Oh, wow.
Which,
So-
by the way, was not in this encounter when we were playing Shadowdark, but now it is.
Someone has left this torch. It's a magical torch. It is ever burning. So whoever left it could have left it a year, 10 years, 100, 500 years. Who knows?
Maybe that's what you use to light all these things.
Well, there's only one of these torches.
We should give it a name.
How about Everburn? Mr. Burn.
Evie. EB, I like it.
Maybe.
Everburn, isn't that something that Vamrid picked up in one of the taverns a couple weeks back?
I
Whoa.
believe so. Yeah.
Whoa.
Who ended up in the clink?
Whoa.
That's Torbin.
Me and Declan Dunderfist.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have pants?
Fancy
Ooh,
pants.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of
Yeah.
accusations getting thrown
I
around
got
here.
it tattooed.
Yeah, a lot of fingers
Yeah.
are being pointed.
Yep,
Yeah.
a lot of marble fingers are
One
being.
of them being a marble.
That's the problem.
I just see Goldie like holding the marble finger, like it was you. No, it was you.
Wait a second. No, I was.
That's awesome.
There.
He scratched the inside of her nostril.
This tells me that whoever took this particular shaft either found another way out or never made it back out.
Bet they're dead down there.
They never found the button, is my guess.
Or there isn't one.
That's a
Or
chronic
there
problem.
isn't one. Yes. We gotta find the button.
Should we
Totally a
try to do this one,
euphemism.
Or should we? We want to do it, right?
Let's
Yeah.
see what comes up.
Yeah, I am curious as to what happens when we turn the sarcophagus toward it.
Torbin,
Let's-
get over here.
All right,
Let's-
let's move it.
Torbin, get over here. I
In
love
for
it.
a penny. Let's go.
He's gonna start trying to push the
In for a copper.
sarcophagus.
All right, go ahead and give me. Is it just Torbin or is Goldie also helping?
Goldie's doing it too.
Everybody except me.
So you got to move your token over there. If that's what you're doing.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm really sorry.
Moving away.
All right, so you get over there. Go ahead and give me strength checks, Goldie, and well, anybody who's helping.
Push it out. Shove it out. Way out.
Way.
12.
12 for Goldie. Okay. What, Rona? What'd you get?
13. 13.
13 for Rona. Okay. For Primeval Instinct.
It's a physical attribute.
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
So I get +4. And then do I also get my strength and my level?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So that would be
You're basically like, this would imply that you are like getting in there and you're giving this everything you've got to move this thing, Torbin. You are like pushing it with every ounce of strength in your body as you tap into your primeval instincts. And you probably give a pretty solid grunt as this thing, as you push forward. Anyone else helping?
I did not give it everything. I got a 5.
Okay, you kind of put a finger on it and just sort of like you were there for the moral support. Yeah.
Looking at your fingernails.
Yeah, totally. Nevertheless, that is well more than enough needed to cause this thing to turn, and it clicks into place again, and you kind of all turn instinctively towards the green lantern, and you feel this rumbling.
Okay, we know the rumbling. We're familiar. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not scared this time.
The ground starts to shake a little bit. The dust kicks up in the air. It keeps kind of rumbling. You're kind of like expecting something to happen, but nothing happens. It keeps rumbling.
Is it stuck? Is the elevator stuck between floors?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
You watch as the ground around this cylinder begins to crack.
Uh-oh.
A spider web of cracks in the ground,
Now
and it falls in. Just dust goes up in the air, obscuring your vision as it filters through this entire space.
We did
And
it,
you
guys.
hear this sound. Even though you can't see, you can just barely see the green sort of glow, like the background of our overlay here, just sort of like glowing and the dust sort of floating in the air. You cough and you hear this sound, the sound of skittering.
Yeah.
And that, my friends, is where we're going to end tonight's session. And we will come back to find out what you have awoken from the deep spot beneath the green lantern. Great movie, by the way.
No.
Is it a lazy Floyd show?
It might be. We'll find out next week, my friends, as we delve deeper and deeper into this amazing place. Of course, a lot of you will probably recognize that this is the Whispering Cairn, which is part of the Age of Worms adventure path that was published in Dungeon Magazine 20 years ago now. I can't believe that, but it was 20 years ago that this was published. We are utilizing parts of that, parts of those various elements of that story for this particular story, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. So thank you guys for being here tonight. We will be back next week to find out what you have, what kind of disruption you have caused in the depths of Chamber Green.
That was a roller coaster without combat somehow.
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, that was fun. Dude, we're playing Castles and Crusades, man. It's the first time we've ever streamed Castles and Crusades. I would call this a success. Big shout out to the folks over at Troll Games for hooking us up and inviting us to be part of the Summer of Siege. We have been diligently practicing and studying the tomes that were bestowed upon us so that we could learn the rules. And quite frankly, it's not as difficult as it first seems. And I think we're doing a great job. You guys are still alive. You've done some very smart things in your exploration. And so I'm happy, very, very happy. Thank you all for being here and being part of this. And thanks to everybody in the chat for helping us out with some channel points and some bits and all that good stuff. We will be back next week for more of this. And don't forget also that we will be back on Thursday this week for more New of Arden with Dungeon Mr. Ty. And Ty, I see you in the chat. Great to see you. And thanks for being here, all of you, for hanging out with us. Let's go around the virtual tabletop and do some outros. Let's start with Shelly. Flea Monkey, let's start with you, my friend.
All right. I never get to go first. What up, friendos? It's Shelly, also known as Flea Monkey, also known as Hey, It's Flea Monkey on Threads and Instagram. You can find me tomorrow on Ty Thalanos' channel doing some Pathfinder. Otherwise, I am stoked to be here next week. Tuesday.
Damn straight.
7:30.
Yeah.
CST.
Ooh, so excited, so excited. Thanks, Shelly, for making time for this. I love playing games with you, and I couldn't imagine doing this without you, so thanks for being here. Let's jump over to Jose next. Jose, thank you again for all of the awesome artwork that you provided for the characters, and just being an awesome dude, basically.
Thank you, Dave. Thanks, everybody. This was a lot of fun. I'm Jose. You can find me in the little stuff that Dave just put up there, J Ortiz or J Ortiz art on the socials. Although I'm really not on them as much. Yeah, I'll be here next week and looking forward to it. This is crazy.
It's crazy. And you guys are just scratching the surface. There's a lot more left in the Whispering Cairn to discover.
Literally scratching the surface.
Yes. Great to have you, Jose, and I appreciate you very much. Your creativity is awesome. Speaking of someone whose creativity is also awesome, Anna B. Meyer, so happy that you're part of this. I love playing games with you. Ever since we played that game at GaryCon a couple of years back, and you blew everybody's mind. I have been looking for ways to bring you back. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for everyone played the game tonight. That was awesome, and thank everybody in chat. And I will be at. You can find more about me at the link on the Patreon site. And also tomorrow I will be doing Legends of Lore with Jay Scott and Mike Bridges at Lord Gazumba channel, and I think it's 5 p.m. Pacific. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Lord Gazumba channel. So there you can see me again. We talk about. I'm not sure what we will talk about tomorrow, but I will figure that out during the day. So yeah,
and it's always good.
Related.
Yeah,
something
it's always
Greyhawk
good.
Related. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, if I remember correctly, Anna, that's something that you and Mike kind of started back in the day,
we started
right?
Back in the day, like 7 years ago or something like that now. And then we ported it over to Jay's channel. And yeah, we never looked back. We've done over 300 episodes, I think. Yeah.
That's amazing. And there's so much great information embedded in those. Those are all available on YouTube as well. So there's like an archive of them, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it's a show about Greyhawk. We talk about Greyhawk. That's all sorts of topics related to Greyhawk. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and just put a shout out here to, let's see if I can do this. Lord Gazumba.
Yep.
I think I should be able to.
Yeah, and I will be back on my own Twitch channel on Friday
There
while
we
I'm
go.
sit and doodle or do World Machine or work on my maps and stuff on Friday. So yeah.
Very cool. Well, we appreciate your creativity, and I know I've said this many times. I will continue to say it. Like when I discovered your maps, they were a great source of inspiration when I was developing. And Andy was playing in the game. We were playing Beyond Saltmarsh, and we utilized the maps. Yeah, it was great. It just like blew our minds, and we were able to open up Greyhawk in ways that we probably wouldn't have if we hadn't discovered your maps. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
So please go check out Anna's Patreon and support Anna's endeavors to map the minutia of the world of Greyhawk down to the 50-meter pixel. It sounds like.
Even smaller than that.
Even smaller than that. My goodness. Here we go. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anna. Let's dive over to AndyG 3D.
That's me. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy, also known as AndyG 3D here on Twitch and over on Discord and places like that. Yeah, you'll be able to find me here for the next few Tuesdays and some Tuesdays after that. Hopefully still playing Torbin. Never know. We're level 2. Not a lot of hit points there. But yeah, a lot of fun getting back into it with you, Dave. I had a blast.
I'm glad you did, and I love sitting at the table with you. Andy has been here since the OG version of Guild Superior, so I appreciate you being here for this and continuing to play in these games. Really appreciate it very much. And we'll jump over to Chad next. Chad, thank you so much for diving in and coming back to play with us, man. It's been a while.
Hell yeah, Van Wickman here. Rule number 1, I'll always push the fucking button.
I guess so.
Thing number 2, thank you, Dave, for running this. This was fun. I sang tonight. Jose sang tonight. I'm hoping by session 3, everybody will have sang a little bit on stream. That'll make me happy. I'll be on... Are you kidding me? I'm pushing the button. I want the songs. I'll be on Stronghold D&D tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. We play in Forgotten Realms. My boy Sir Tim, he also does miniatures and scenery. I actually painted my own mini because I wasn't letting anything not be my quality, what I wanted to. So I got a tiefling cleric with dragon hands, and he's good looking. He's good looking. But thanks for having me back. This is fun. I look forward to possibly surviving for 3 weeks, but the way I play, maybe not.
Never can tell.
But you know what? As a bard, you gotta make it so it's a story. Good, bad, dumb, heroic.
Well, we are lucky to have an amazing group of storytellers here participating in this stream and in the upcoming stories that to come this summer as part of the Summer of Siege. So I'm really stoked that we have this group here to kick it off. I appreciate you guys all very much. We've played games together, and I know that you bring it every time. So thank you for that. A lot of great energy tonight. Also, a lot of great energy in the chat. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. If you like what we're doing, please consider following the channel. If you're not already, consider a sub if that's something that you're able to do. But more importantly, just hang out with us and spend some time with us on Tuesdays. And also, I should also say on Thursdays, because on Thursday night, we will be diving back into Nuvarden with Dungeon Mr. Ty and friends to continue that story. Nuvarden is just a insanely awesome world with so much lore and opportunities for discovery. We're having a blast playing essentially characters who really don't know their ass from a hole in the wall, and they're trying to kind of figure things out as they go. And it's super fun. Ty has created a really fun narrative for us to follow. We're on a quest, and we're doing the best we can to get there. So thank you for that, Ty. We will be back here on Thursday for that, and then we'll be back here on Tuesday for more of this game. Thank you all for being part of this. I'm going to kick it over to the end page here, but we are going to find a raid target. So stick with us for a couple of seconds here while I find somebody to raid into and give them some good old-fashioned Guild Superior love, my friends. Have a great couple of days. We'll see you Thursday. Be kind to each other. Be good. Do what you can to make the world a better place, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.